children,
human rights violations,
dignity,
social awareness,
poverty,
discourse,
education for human dignity. So we're looking at the right to education, the right to health, the right to water and sanitation, and the right to food. But chief amongst all of this is the right to housing, because lack of a house makes all of these other rights fall out. Hello, my name is Vongai Chikwanda. I come from AI Zimbabwe, and I'm here for the Education for Human Dignity project. And today we were working with children from different schools in Slovenia, and we talked about the experience of people living in slums. What we mainly focused on was the life experiences from the perspective of a child, to the perspective of a woman, girl child, and the ordinary person that's staying in a slum. We looked at the issue around how poverty is perpetuated, the cycle of poverty, how inadequate housing drives people deeper into poverty. And we also focused mainly on issues such as what is adequate housing, why are we advocating for adequate housing, how does adequate housing affect the right to education, how does inadequate housing affect the right to health, the right to livelihood, nutrition, and then things like livelihood. The children were quite shocked about the experience that people have in slums in Zimbabwe. Some of them, when I asked them to imagine, because I started by saying, imagine if it was you who was staying in the slum settlement, and it was really a difficult experience to imagine for them. But they were quite interested and learnt a lot in terms of poverty, because we then narrowed that to poverty and dignity. We then tried to define what poverty is and what absolute poverty is in relation to needs. And then we then looked at how it affects the dignity of a person, how it affects the nature of our human being. We also talked about the students asked more about issues around how we can improve their lives. And we then raised what, as Amnesty, we are doing in Zimbabwe, how we're advocating for security of tenure, and how we would want the current lease agreements to be strengthened, and how if children lack education, how their lives become doomed. So when you have a house, you know that in that house there's water, which enables you the right to housing. You know that in that house there's sanitation, there's ventilation, which enables you to proper sanitation and ventilation. You know that in that house I have somewhere to place my head on, so I'm basically okay. But if you don't have that, you are driven into poverty.
It's a discourse you can have. A discussion, you can have a healthy discussion whereby there is no right or wrong answer. Hi, I'm Yohendra Nadarajani from Amnesty Malaysia. I've been invited by AI Slovenia to run workshops on new technologies, how to use medias, basically how to use tools which we can use in everyday life, like a mobile phone or a digital camera. And most of the students I've done the sessions today, almost 95% of them have a mobile phone, and close to 90% has a digital camera. And basically how they can use those tools to capture human rights violations, or as well as to capture people's thoughts about social justice issues or social causes, and how to upload them onto YouTube, how to upload them on Facebook, and to use new technologies such as those to create social awareness. And basically I showed them video clips from Malaysia done by social activists using just digital cameras. So I was just showing the kids that on different levels what they can do with a video camera as well as a handphone. For the younger kids, I showed them that they can actually do ask their friends questions like, what does dignity mean to you? And everybody will give a different answer, and that's what we want. We want them to have a discourse and then put it out on the open space and see what other youths or their friends from other villages or other states will have to say about those issues.
Temu bi rekli tako, pravica do dostojnega življenja. Kamor sodi potem ta
It was quite an interesting and exciting project for us today. The time was really short. We really wanted to go on and on, but as Simone explained, that concentration was also based on concentration span. But it was really exciting because the children expressed also a bit of how they were shocked to find out that the children who are living in such situations. Some expressed anger when I asked them to imagine if it was them. They said that they were a bit angry at the situation. Some expressed horror, and some saying that they would not be able to live in such a situation. And some completely said, I can't imagine that because I've never gone through something like that.
I see that Slovenians have the access to technology. It's just how we can probe them or show them the right way how to use this technology, and I think this will be a very useful tool for young Slovenians to express themselves and to express any social causes which they might have. So I think it is a good start. Some of the children have already done some of the things which I've presented today, so I think that's a good start. And some of those I've been speaking to some of their lecturers that maybe they might want to have a module on making a short 5 to 10 minute video, and it can be on any topic, and it sometimes things like this would spark an interest for them to use a new technology, and once they're more socially aware or socially conscious about social awareness campaigns, they might want to use their skills in that area to make documentaries or films. And I think I see it as a good tool, as it's been proven that in Asian countries that is the case, that videos and photos have been used to document social injustices and to promote cause, and I always stress that we must believe in strength by numbers, and sometimes one person's work, and if a lot of people support it, you get a bigger voice, and simple things like just clicking share on your Facebook, it's a form of activism. I always tell students, don't think that just by clicking share on Facebook it's not meaningful. It is. Sometimes online petitions, somebody starts it, and by the end of the week you get 1,000 petitions going on. So the power of social media is very, very important, and then we must know how to harvest this important media tool. So with that, thank you very much.